What's going on, everyone, and welcome back. Today, Michael Myers has escaped Haddonfield Hospital and he may be on his way to your house. We're going to be taking a look at the Michael Myers Deluxe figure by Sideshow. Alright, before we actually get into the review, I want to go ahead and take a look at the product page first and see what we got here. So we do have a starting price point of $235. There is also another version of Michael Myers from Trick or Treat Studios. I also own that one. I believe that one was like $150, $170-ish. But this one does come with a lot more accessories compared to the Trick or Treat Studios version, so I'm okay with the price point on this one. So let's go ahead and take a quick look and see what he comes with. So we do get the masked head sculpt. This is going to be his Michael Myers face mask head sculpt. You also get a head sculpt with non-removable glasses and fabric sheet. So this head sculpt is going to be used to connect the sheet as well as the glasses. I believe there's an indent in here where you can connect the glasses onto the head sculpt so it stays in place. You get the coveralls with it, fabric undershirt, and then you also get 8 sets of hands that's going to be included with it. You get a right and left fist, you get gripping hands, open hands, and if you just want to use some posed hands. You also get a pair of boots. This one comes with 2 different sets of knives. You get a clean knife and a bloody knife. I'm probably going to use the bloody knife just because I like the way it looks. And you also get a light up jack-o'-lantern that you can set right beside the figure. Another thing this comes with is the Judith Myers headstone, which I think is pretty cool. And then you also get a telephone with cord that you can use if you want to have him in the sheet. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at some of these images. Overall, I do think this is a nice figure, but I think if you want to go with a more movie accurate figure, I would go with the Trick or Treat Studios one. This one looks a little bit more like more of a stylized version to me. So you have Michael Myers right here standing behind the tree with the pumpkin, which looks beautiful image. You have him holding his knife. Another close-up shot. Like, again, this looks really stylized compared to the other one. Some things I'm noticing right off the bat is the forehead looks a little bit big right here. You get this kind of pushback hairline on it. And a lot of the features are pretty over exaggerated, so I don't know if this is going to be the actual figure itself, or this is just the lighting that it has on it. Go ahead and take it. Oh, here's the Judith Meyer headstone that it comes with. Looks great with the pumpkin. I think the pumpkin looks great. I think the headstone looks great. He does look a little bit bigger than compared to the ones for the actual original movie version. In the movie, these coveralls were a little bit more baggy and he was a little bit skinnier compared to this one. This one kind of looks, like I said, everything's a little bit more exaggerated on this figure. Yeah, so even with these photos right here, you can see like even these indents, just everything to me just looks very stylized and exaggerated. He looks great with the sheet. I actually might pose him with the sheet just because I already own the Trick or Treat Studios version, which I absolutely love. I think they nailed that one. It's a great figure, so I'll probably display him like this. All right, let's go ahead and just scroll through these real quick. Here's the bloody knife. Bloody knife looks fantastic. This knife looks fantastic as well, but I just love the blood splatter on this one. So if I don't do the sheet, I'll probably use this knife, and I actually might even switch this knife out for my Trick or Treat Studios version and just have the Trick or Treat Studios version hold this knife. The hands on this look great too. I might actually do the same thing with the hands just because you kind of get a generic set of hands with the Trick or Treat Studios version, where these ones look pretty great. So I'm gonna see it maybe if I can switch it out and just have him using these hands and holding the knife. All right, go through these really quick with the phone. All right, so here's the light up feature. There's a little button inside here. These are magnetized. You just pop this off and you can turn this off and on. And then here's everything laid out, all the hands, the box. The box art looks fantastic. I love the way the box looks. I'm hoping it looks like this once we actually get it in hand as well. All right, that was the last one. This one too with the glasses, the telephone, and the cloth look fantastic. So we went ahead and looked at all the images, looked at the product page. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the review and see what he looks like. All right, like always, we're gonna go ahead and start with the box first. I absolutely love the way that this box looks. There's just something about it that captures the old Halloween look to me. I think they did a fantastic job with this box. You have the Halloween logo here at the top with John Carpenter's name right there, and then you have the Michael Myers Deluxe text right there at the bottom. You also get two images, one where he has the sheet over, and then just the actual figure itself right here with this orange type of tone to it. You got this orange and black tone to it with the 6 scale figure here and the Sideshow logo down here. Again, I absolutely love the way that they did this box. I think it's fantastic. Hopefully they continue kind of with this route with these artistic style boxes. I think it looks phenomenal. So here on the side, we get the John Carpenter's Halloween logo right here, again with Michael Myers text. And then I believe it's the same thing. Yep, same thing for the other side where the wraparound image kind of comes and kind of lays over on this side. All right, so when you flip it on the back, you have the Sideshow logo down here at the bottom. And then you get another image of Michael Myers right there holding the knife, again with that orange tone that kind of goes throughout the entire box. Absolutely phenomenal box. I just love the way that this one looks. You do get the typical shoe style type box with it. So once you open it up, if there's anything on the inside, nothing on the inside. I kind of wish they would have kind of continued with maybe an image or something right here just to kind of keep that overall aesthetic with the box. So you can see the figure laid out right here. When you most of their stuff has kind of like a wrapping around it. This one's really nice. You get the kitchen knife with some blood splatter on it right there. They did continue some, like here on the side you have a pumpkin image. This kind of like bleeds over under there where you have a pumpkin, and then on the other side you have the phone cord with the sheet. Go ahead and take them out. Nothing on the inside here, but you do get the continued image that kind of wraps around the boxes right there. All right, let's go ahead and pull this part off. So you get two different trays. Right here you can see Michael Myers, all the hands. You have some accessories right here. You have the phone cord as well as two knives right there. When you lift this off, you also get the display stand, the Judith Myers tombstone, a pumpkin, and then the sheet that goes over it. So I'm gonna go ahead and unpack all this stuff and get it all laid out, and then we'll go ahead and look at the figure. All right, guys, so I went ahead and laid out everything that the figure comes with. You can see it does come with a lot of accessories. So we're gonna go ahead and start on the accessories first, and then we'll go ahead and get into the figure. First thing I want to mention is that I did get a pair of broken glasses with this figure. I will be contacting Sideshow support right after the video to try to get a replacement. This part right here is broken off, so I'm just gonna set this aside. But you can see here in the glasses, you get a nice like a brownish color, and then you also have, if you look through it, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it does magnify like almost like a real pair of glasses. The next thing we're going to look at is the additional head that you get with it. So this is if you want to actually go ahead and use the sheet, you can put this head instead of the actual head sculpt on, and then these pair of glasses right here fit right inside there to hold on to the head and the sheet. As for the sheet is nothing too crazy. What you get is just a white rectangular sheet. This does have some weight to it. I think a lot of people that I've seen that have seen this figure, it just looks like a normal white sheet that you can get at any store, but this is not the case with this one. It does have some weight on it so that it sits nicely on the figure, and I feel like it'll drape over really, really nicely. Next thing that we get is a pumpkin with it. So this does have a light up feature. Again, this is something that I'm very, very disappointed in. When you open it up, mine is missing the battery compartment and the light up feature itself, so I can't show you guys the light up feature in this video. Again, we'll be contacting Sideshow support to kind of get this replaced or see what they can do about fixing it. But it is magnetized, so there is supposed to be a compartment right inside of there, and then you put the batteries in, and then you have a switch that'll have a light up feature, and then it will just connect right there back onto the pumpkin. The next thing that we're going to be looking at is the Judith Myers tombstone. Really, really nice addition to this. It has a pretty good weight to it. You can see it says our beloved daughter, Judith Myers, born November 10th, 1947, died October 31st, 1963. You also get two different knives with it. You get a clean version of the knife and then a bloody version. I will probably be using the bloody version just because I like the way it looks better. You do have the blood splatter all throughout on that side. And then same thing with that side, you got a different blood splat pattern that goes kind of up and around here. The clean version is just pretty clean. As you can see, it does have a shine to it in the camera, but that is just the paint applications. It's not metal or anything like that. It just has a nice little shine to it, and the bright light is kind of just having a reflective on it. The next thing we get is the stand. I love this stand. It's very minimalist. You have the John Carpenter's Halloween. Some of the ones that I get, it doesn't come with it, like any kind of writing or anything like that. I like how they have just the this really nice, clean Halloween one. So I believe it was the Scream version that just came with just a black plain stand, which I wish that would have had a little bit more on it, just kind of something like this with the writing on it. And then you also get the telephone with it. So I'll be using probably, since I have the Trick or Treat Studios version, I'll probably be using the sheet on this one and just having the Trick or Treat version with it. So I'll be using this accessory to display with the figure. All right, so moving on to the hands, and then we'll get into the figure right after that. So you do get 7 sets of hands. You have 2 that come on him right now that have closed fists. And then you also have some more hands right here. The hands look absolutely phenomenal. I might actually switch out some of these hands for my Trick or Treat Studios version, just because I like the way that these hands look a little bit better than the ones that come with the Trick or Treat Studios version. Paint applications are really nice. You have that kind of like that two-tone flesh that kind of like blends in together really nicely right here. And then I'll also show you guys the blade holding hand. So let's move on to the actual figure itself. The figure, it's a nice figure for what it is. But if you want a more movie accurate figure, I would go to the Trick or Treat Studios version rather than the Sideshow version. So let's go ahead and get into it and start talking about it. So the first thing I want to talk about is this head sculpt. Sorry about that eye catcher. I'll try to remove it for the next video. But as you can see, the features on this thing are really exaggerated. So it almost looks like he's got a like a superhero mask on top of a mask. Something that it's just like, for me, it's over exaggerated. This is more of like an artist interpretation version compared to a movie accurate version. Other thing that I'm kind of not too excited about is these lines right here. These are the seams in the masks. They're kind of lazy looking to me. What it is just kind of like, if you are familiar with like 3D programs or 3D sculpting programs, you just take a one of the sculpting tools and just put a line over there. There's no like detail or anything like that. Same thing with the other side. Literally no detail, just a quick sculpting line that sits right on top of the mask. Something else around this one does look a little bit pushed back. His hairline looks a little funny to me. I'm gonna have to look at the movie just because this one, or even I'll just do a comparison with the Trick or Treat Studios version compared to this one. But this guy right here, it just kind of seems like his hairline's a little bit weird to me, almost pushed back where his forehead is a little bit big. All right, so moving on to the overalls, you get a nice pair of coveralls with it. I think they did a good job on this one, but the body type on this Michael Myers is a little bit more muscular than like he would be in the movie, or maybe it's just the coveralls are a little bit tighter on him than they should be. It's just something about this body and the coveralls mixed together that just for me is just not very movie accurate. Again, I'm just trying to be honest with you guys on what I see that could be improved on, but like I said, I do like this figure for what it is, but I don't think it's going to, if you're looking for a movie accurate 6 scale figure, this is not the one that I would go with. And then moving on to his boots. Nothing much to say there, just a pair of boots. And then articulation wise, you have great movement in the knee. Sometimes I've noticed that some of the Sideshow figures come really loose. That doesn't seem to be the case with this guy. He has pretty good movement. You do have double jointed here in the elbow as well, so you can get some pretty nice poses, especially if you want to have the blade kind of posed in like that. Same thing with this right here. Great movement in the shoulder, great movement in the elbows, and then head movement is pretty good too. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is actually grab the Trick or Treat Studios version 2, just so I can show you guys the comparison. I just want you guys to know what you're getting into when you get this figure. Again, it's more of a like an artist interpretation. Like, I feel like it's more of an artist interpretation compared to a movie accurate figure. So I'll show you guys the Trick or Treat Studios version 1, which I think is extremely accurate to the movie. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that first, and then we'll go ahead and move on to posing. So give me 1 second, I'll be right back, and I'll get all this stuff removed. Alright, so I went ahead and grabbed the Trick or Treat Studio version right here, and then the Sideshow version right here. Let's go ahead and start with the overalls, is what I was talking about first. As you guys can see, like, this guy's a little bit more muscular, a little bit tighter of the coveralls on this side, where this one has a little bit more bagginess to it, and the body is a bit thinner compared to this one. This is more movie accurate compared to this one. In the movie, it was a little bit more baggy compared to this guy right here. So if you look at the mask, another thing I was talking about is the detail. Get the focus. So you can see how this one is kind of like sculpted in there. The camera's not picking it up, but you do have like something that actually, it looks like a seam. It looks like it was melted together. It looks like there was a seam in the mask that they that wasn't intentionally put there. Same thing with this one. You have, let me get it a little bit closer. You have the let me try to get that to focus. So you have it, there's a lot more separation and stuff on this one. It's way better done. It's just not like a piece of clay like laid right over it. As you guys can see, right here just looks like clay that's right on top of it. One other thing that is a little bit different for this one is that the color of this mask, you get like a gray colored mask on the figure. The mask is more of a whitish color. It just doesn't even look to me like it's been painted. It looks like they maybe did a little bit of like flesh tones around here in the very top. But this is kind of how it came out of the manufacturer, where this one has more paint, more white to it, a lot more blending of the different flesh tones compared to what this one does have, just a bunch of gray. And then let's take a look at the, yeah, so you can see here on the hairline as well, comes a little bit, it comes down a lot more on this figure. Less of a forehead on it on this guy, where this hairline is pushed pretty far back. You get like a more of an elongated forehead on this guy. All right, again, guys, I do like the figure. I don't think, don't get me wrong, like it's not a bad figure. But I think if you want a more movie accurate one, I would go with the Trick or Treat Studios compared to the Sideshow version. But again, this is a pretty nice figure, and I'm actually gonna go start posing this guy up and kind of see what we can get out of it, and then I'll be right back with the post. So overall, the figure does look great posed up. If you get the correct lighting on this guy, he looks fantastic. Again, I do feel like this is a more of a stylized version, so I'm having a hard time deciding if I want to display him like this or if I want to display him with a sheet. I might actually just buy a separate body, put that head sculpt on the separate body, and just have him displayed like this, and then have another one displayed in with the sheet. It is a great figure, but like I said, guys, it's not going to be film accurate, but it's still a very nice figure, and it looks fantastic with all of the other horror figures from Sideshow. So if you collect all those, you're going to love this one. I feel like if you guys already have that, this is definitely a pickup. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video. If you guys like what you saw here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, let me know down below if you guys are going to pick this up or not. Again, thank you guys so much, and enjoy the rest of the poses.